Can you believe it? They've unbanned Preordain in Modern. On top of that, with the resurgence of Tron, Remand is good again. Is Giftstorm back? Let's find out. We've gained Preordain. Giftstorm now has a terrific cantrip to play. We don't have to play things like Opt or Serum Visions anymore. We just have two stellar cantrips between Preordain and then Consider. On top of that, the deck has gained Lorraine Revealed recently as a card that helps us beat Graveyard Hate naturally. If you think back to the Pieces of the Puzzle era, this card is going to be very similar to that, except it's part of our mana base. We get to cut down to 15 lands, play 4 Lorraine Revealed, because I like to count it as half a land. So we're really a 17 land deck that has a built-in back-end engine to beat Graveyard Hate. But the real headline today, in my opinion, is that Remand is back. I'm a known Remand hater. If you watch my videos, I don't like it. It's not good against Force Negation, Solitude, Fury, etc. Anything that's a pitch card, Remand stinks against. However, due to Green Tron coming back, people are spending more and more mana to fight that deck, which means that Remand is good again. Remand also helps you beat Graveyard Hate, so when you have 4 Remands alongside 3 Grapeshot, you don't have to worry about things like Dauthi Voidwalker as much out of Rakdos Scam. So we have a number of ways to beat Graveyard Hate naturally, and our core engine is good against the format. I think Giftstorm is back. We're going to find out today. I will see you in the first match. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, early access to videos, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, such as theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match. We're on the draw, and I've opened up a hand with essentially 2 lands because we have the Lorraine Revealed and then our Mountain. Gifts Ungiven and a bunch of rituals. I'm actually going to try this because we might be able to win without using a cost-reducing creature, or if we draw one, this hand is going straight to the moon. Ooh, classic matchup. Burn versus Gifts. Yikes. Okay, this is traditionally not a very good matchup for us. We draw another Lorraine Revealed. We will pass. Rift Bolt will come off Suspend. We take 3 damage. Yep, that's to be expected. Sacred Foundry. Lava Spike, 14. And they're just going to pass. 4 cards in hand. On their end step, we will cycle the other Lorraine Revealed. Just grab a basic island. I mean, this hand could win without using a creature. This is actually not bad. Ooh. Okay. So the game plan currently is that we're going to cycle this Lorraine Revealed. We'll grab another island. On their end step, we'll ritual Gifts Ungiven. Okay. So we need to live 2 more turn cycles. They have 3 cards in hand. Can we do it? So this is probably an end step Boros Charm putting me to 7. We'll cycle Lorraine Revealed. Also, with Lorraine Revealed, I mean, it's probably pretty obvious, right? But it is a sorcery, which means that you can flash it back with Past in Flames. So not only do you get to play less lands, you get to do everything. Should we try to win here? I don't think we actually have enough mana. We have to just live. That is the game plan. So we're going to pass. No end step burn spell. Wow. Okay. I'm feeling pretty good about this now. Monastery Swift Spear is fine. Yeah, I think we're just going to win without a creature in game number 1. I go to 10. On their end step, we're going to burn a Pyretic Ritual, and this is intentional. You want to keep Desperate Rituals because they splice onto the Arcane to make additional mana, and that additional mana goes pretty far when you don't have a creature. So we're going to keep the Arcane Ritual effects. We'll target our opponent with Gifts Ungiven. Also, the way that this game played out, we never took a single point of damage off her mana base, which was really nice against the burn deck. Lorraine Revealed essentially just being a fetch land that, you know, didn't deal us damage, pretty good against burn. Our opponent is using their Wooded Foothills. They grab a mountain. Is this a Boros Charm? What's going on here? So, because of the fact that they did this on their end step, we don't have to worry about Searing Blaze on our turn if they choose to not respond. Gifts Ungiven. We'll grab Ritual. Past in Flames. I feel like it's 2018 again. I love it. My back probably felt better than 2. Alright. 4 cards. This is your stock gifts pile. You get Desperate Ritual, Pyretic Ritual, Manamorphose, and Past in Flames. Your opponent here is probably going to give you Manamorphose, Past in Flames, and then we're going to go to town. You could have gotten Grapeshot instead of the other Manamorphose, but in order to win, we need a pretty high storm count, and I don't really want to risk not being able to get there because I chose to get a Grapeshot. We have 3 Grapeshots in our deck. We have another, we can recast Gifts Ungiven. We have 2 Lorien Revealed. I think we're going to be just fine. They give us Ritual Manamorphose. Okay. Untap, I'll take a draw. So I can go to 8 here. That's fine. Ouch. There's no Fire Blast in this format, so the most our opponent could deal us here is 6. You'll cast a Pyretic Ritual. Storm count is 1. Making sure our storm count is showing. Alright, Pyretic Ritual storm count is 2. And now that brings us up to 6 mana, which means that we can cast this and then double Splice on. Okay, so this ritual is going to make 9 mana. We'll cast another Desperate Ritual Splicing. And this is what I was talking about with having those splices make additional mana. Now we'll Manamorphose to make blue. Alright, so we've done that. Whoops, there we go. Another Manamorphose, I love it. Alright, blue is what we'll do here. Preordain, pretty good mid-combo, unlike a Serum Visions. We have found Grapeshot, just like I said we would. No need to worry. We'll Manamorphose again. Apparently I accidentally made a red in there. Oh no, I Preordained, that's where the blue went. Ignore me. Baral, Chief of Compliance. I'm going to prove a point here. We don't need a creature. I'm not going to cast Baral. We'll flashback Past in Flames. Tons of mana floating. Storm 10. Look at that thick graveyard. Thick. 14 cards deep on turn 4. Love it. Okay, so now we will flashback a Ritual. And people like it when I pop out my graveyard. This is not something I ever do because I hate it. But for the purposes of the video, I will pop it out because people like seeing the cards larger. I think it's so unnatural to me to play like this, but whatever makes you happy as the viewer. And we ideally want to get up to Storm 20, just because our opponent's at 17 life, and if you're familiar with Modern, people play Lightning Helix, and that's not a card we want to lose against. Also, look at all this mana. Who needs creatures, right? Put those on the bottom. Another Preordain, Manamorphose. Blue. Preordain again. Put those on the bottom. And at this point, you could cast your Grapeshot, but I'm here to party, so I'm going to Manamorphose. Blue. I apparently misclicked on that one. We'll make blue this time. And another Grapeshot. Alright, I said that we could flashback Lorien Revealed, and I'm going to do it. Storm 23. This is amazing. I love it. We'll move the graveyard over here, so that way you can see Lorien Revealed on the stack. Just beautiful synergy right there. Another Ritual. Alright, I suppose we should try to win. Grapeshot, Storm 25. Boom! And we win. How about that? Alright, sideboarding. So, most people don't play Leyline of Sanctity. I'm a huge fan of this card. 1, it's great against Burn. 2, it's great against Rakdos Scam, and we're a deck that needs our resources. It also stops things like Endurance or Nile Spellbomb. Leyline of Sanctity is just pretty good, but for some reason people don't like playing it. I do, so if you're someone that hates it, off it's my video. So here we want Lightning Bolt to deal with Eidolon of the Great Revel, assuming that they're playing it. And generally I like shaving Gifts Ungivens in this matchup, along with 1 Past in Flames, just due to them having Sanctifier and Vec, and things like Rest in Peace. I don't think Remand is great in this matchup. All of their spells cost 1, so we're going to board that out, and that leaves us at 63. You could board an Echoing Truth for Eidolons and stuff like that. I think that's reasonable. Not really a Blood Moon or Filter Out matchup. So now we have to find 4 cuts. You can't really afford to take out Lorien Revealed because it's a part of your mana base. I just want to make that very clear. Do not board out Lorien Revealed. I'm so adamant about it that I accidentally hit my desk. Don't do it. Alright, so now we have to find 4 more cuts. I think that it's likely going to end up being our cantrips, unfortunately, just because everything else is a core piece of our strategy and consistency is a luxury. So we're going to leave in the preordains and board out considers. Boarding out consider doesn't matter as much when Sanctifier and Vec and stuff is coming in the deck. You lose a little bit of that graveyard synergy, and we boarded out a Past Influence. So that makes sense to me. I will click submit. Game number 2, our opponent has kept 7. We will do the same. Our hand is very good. We do need a second land. On top of that, we could use some rituals, but I mean, we have a removal spell for Eidolon. We have empty. I think both of those cards are very good in this matchup. We go to 19. Ooh. Alright. That was not a good draw. We will preordain, bottom the Electromancer, and we'll keep the Scalding Tarn. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Sacred Foundry. Goblin Guide. They suspend a Rift Bolt. And now I'll take 3 going to 16. Goblin Guide reveals a Past in Flames. Okay. We will fetch going down to 15. Let's Lightning Bolt the Swift Spear. It's going to deal us 2 next turn and possibly more. And then we'll preordain. Bottom the Leyline. Keep the Spire Bluff. And now we need rituals. A ritual off the top would be amazing because if our opponent taps out, I could empty the Warrens for a lot. Alright, so now they're at 16. They have 3 cards in hand. Roiling Vortex. I don't plan on casting any spells for free, so this card doesn't matter. And they tapped out. This is an amazing window for us to win. But it all starts with us drawing a ritual here. Lightning Bolt. That is not a ritual. Okay, so what is the game plan? We take 1 off the Roiling Vortex. We'll draw a card. They have 1 card in hand. I could try to spike a ritual off of... So my game plan here is I could go Goblin Electromancer, Manamorphose, hope to spike a ritual, and then if I do, Past in Flames, Ritual, Manamorphose, empty for a ton. Alternatively, I could just go Electromancer, Bolt your Goblin Guide, pass, and hope that they can't kill me. Play the Goblin. I have to hope that their hand just doesn't do it. They're at 15. They're drawing 1 card, so they have 2 cards in hand. They need 5 points of damage. It's not an unrealistic ask. But if they have another Roiling Vortex or a land, we can get another turn. Goblin Guide swing. Grapeshot. That's not a good one. Alright, we're going to Lightning Bolt the Goblin Guide. There's a land. They have 1 card. Skullcrack. I go to 3. Okay, this is our chance. Manamorphose needs to be good for us here. We're drawing the Grapeshot that we don't want, and we go to 2. Like, realistically, if we draw a ritual here, there's a good chance we win, but we have to draw exactly one of our 8 rituals. Do red. Don't think we're going to be able to now. Past in Flames. Manamorphose. So we're 25% of the way through our deck, and we have not found one of our 8 rituals. Making 2 red. Another Lightning Bolt. So I think our best odds at this point is me casting 2 Lightning Bolts from the graveyard and then attacking for 2, putting them to... Yeah, that would give me lethal next turn. So we're saying that we need our opponent to draw a land. Okay, they go to 6 in their upkeep. Alright, well, they'll go to 5 in their upkeep because they're fetching with the Arid Mesa. We need them to draw a land. I think anything else kills us here. Literally anything else kills us. Oh, they drew a spell. We're dead. Okay. Bummer. Game 3. No change to the sideboard plan. I think our boarding was fine. Our deck kind of failed us that game. I could have, instead of making red, I could have gone blue-red and tried to preordain into a ritual. That was an option. But I don't think that would have influenced the outcome of the game. I just didn't have enough resources at that point to win, no matter what. I could Grapeshot, but I wouldn't have been able to clear 6 damage. Alright, game 3. Sure. I mean, we don't have a payoff spell, but we do have Leyline, which is worth a lot of cards in this matchup, and we have a removal spell for their initial threat, or Eidolon of the Great Revel, etc. One small thing that I would like to note is that a bunch of lists currently are not playing Eidolon of the Great Revel. That doesn't mean that our opponent isn't playing it. It just means that your average results on Goldfish do not have it. Firing Vantage. Swift Spear. We're going to kill the Swift Spear, trying to buy ourselves some time. Okay. Draw for turn. It's another Bolt. I have a feeling that this would be a game that Lorien Revealed would actually be pretty good in. Uh-oh, they have the Sanctifier. That's not good. That's a threat. That means that my graveyard synergies are shut off, and I can't Lightning Bolt it out. So we're on a 10-turn clock at the moment. Realistically, a 9 because I'm about to fetch. Don't love this. And it's just good against Empty the Warrens as well. Otawara. Not really a land that I want to use on a Sanctifier in Vec, but it's an option. For sure. So we'll take 2 here from the Sanctifier. Okay, we go to 16. And they're passing with 4 cards in hand. Empty. So I could empty for 8 here. I just don't think that's really worth it yet. I'm going to pass. I'm going to just try to get a little bit more Storm before I go for the win. Our opponent fetches. They're at 19 now. We're about to go to 14. Ouch. They have 5 in hand. So another reason I don't want to empty for 8 is our opponent can't cast a bunch of the burn spells in their hand, which means they're going to point them at our goblin tokens. Ooh, that was actually an amazing draw, because we're going to use our opponent to create Storm right here, which is one of my favorite things about this deck. Alright, so we'll cast a Ritual. How much would you like to bet that they try to kill my Baral in response? $1 million? $1 billion? Let's Manamorphose. And now they're going to kill it again, making even more Storm. Okay, let's make blue. We drew a land. Alright, not a spell, but hey, our opponent increased her Storm count. I'm good with that. Now we'll Lightning Bolt them. They're at 16. We'll play our land. And then empty the Warrens for 12. Boom. Our opponent's at 16. It's not impossible for them to stabilize. I would like to point that out. Like, you shouldn't count this as a win yet, because they could go end step, bolt 2 creatures. They have a blocker. They could play another Sanctifier. There's a lot of cards that they could have. I mean, it's been years, but back when this used to be my primary Modern deck, there was once where I was convinced that I had beaten Burn, and they cast a Volcanic Fallout against me. So you never know the wild cards that people are playing, I guess is my... Hey, victory! We are 1-0 against a super tough matchup. 4 more matches. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Match number 2, we're on the draw, and I'm going to keep. This hand is great. It looks a lot like our Game 1 hand. Obviously, or Match 1 Game 1 hand. We don't have Gifts Ungiven, but we do have cantrips. I need a second land. Ooh, Mill. Okay, so Mill is another tough matchup for this deck. Not excited to see that. So we are a Past in Flames deck, but Mill is often a deck that runs main deck Surgical Extraction. And I'm going to fetch now, because if I wait to fetch, Archive Trap, it's live longer, I guess is my point. And I don't want to give them more opportunities to draw the Archive Trap, and I need to search. So that's what I'm going for. Remand. I think Remand is a card I want. We'll pass. You have the Archive Trap. No Archive Trap, okay. So a way that you can win this matchup, ooh, another crab, is if your opponent mills your Past in Flames and they don't have Graveyard Hate. I feel like that's not super often, but it's something that could happen. The Rune Crab will trigger. We've milled a Gifts Ungiven. They fetch with their Polluted Delta for a Watery Grave. Let's pop out our graveyard over here, just so it's a little bit longer. They've milled Past in Flames. Okay, so if we draw a creature that costs 2, I think we can try to win on our turn. So the line would be play your land, Ritual, Manamorphose, Ritual, flashback Past in Flames into a win. We would need our opponent to not have main deck Surgical, but it's a possibility. We have 7 creatures in our deck. Here's the draw step. Gifts Ungiven. Okay, we're going to have to pass here. So you might be thinking, why not just Ritual into the Past in Flames? In Modern, your mana is a lot worse. So Pyretic Ritual is 2 mana that makes 3. So here it's essentially 3, 4, 5 mana. Past in Flames costs 5, but you don't have any mana after that to then flash back your Pyretic Rituals or whatever. Alright, another fetch land from the opponent here. So we're going to mill up to 18 cards. We're in a dangerous spot. They have 3 cards left in hand. If they have a counter spell, that's not good for us either. Let's consider. I don't think we need a Manamorphose, but it's also like kind of free to not... I'll bin it. Drew a land, so that means that we're 1 mana short of flashing back Past in Flames. A creature would still be my best draw here, in my opinion. Another Ritual. Okay, so that means that I can flash back the Past in Flames, but if they have a counter spell, they're going to stop me. Drown in the Loch is a pretty popular card. I'm afraid if I wait, I'm dead, though. I think I'm going to pass the turn. I'm not really sure if I'm supposed to go for it here. Our opponent's last list does not have main deck Surgical Extraction, but it does have main deck Spell Pierce and Drown in the Loch. So they have 3 Spell Pierce, 4 Drown in the Loch. We haven't seen either yet. So I'm going to hope that they tap out for like a Tasha's Hideous Laughter, and then we can remand into a win. Okay, we have 16 cards left. I am dead to a fetch land here. Visions of Beyond, so they'll draw 3 cards. There's no point in remanding that. But once again, I'm dead to a fetch land. Does our opponent not have a land in 6 cards? We're just choosing to go to combat first. Another Ruin Crab, okay. And they're going to pass. On their end step, I'm going to cycle Manamorphose. Blue-red. Grapeshot doesn't help here. I could try to Gifts Ungiven, but if they have a Archive Trap, I lose, so I don't want to do that. Lorien Revealed. Okay, we just have to jam at this point. I'm dead to Spell Pierce, Drown in the Loch, whatever. They counter the Ritual. Yep. We just never had enough mana to go for it while holding up Remand this game. I'm dead to Hideous Laughter. There's a Mill 14, too. And there's the Hideous Laughter. I guess I can hope that our top is 20. Hey, we have 4 cards left. Did we somehow manage to win this? Do you not have a land? Glad I didn't concede. They're passing? Really? Wow. I guess the Lorien Revealed coming up for 5 was pretty huge. Yeah, Lorien Revealed, Past in Flames. Okay, we're going for it. Player land. Ritual. Splice Desperate Ritual. Cast Desperate Ritual. I mean, if you have a main deck Surgical, this is the spot. Alright, we'll flashback Past in Flames. Sweet. At this point, we just have to cast spells. So, let's do that. Alright, so now we're casting Pyretic Ritual. They're taking long pauses on almost every spell. I can't tell if they're just salty or if they actually have interaction. Okay. So, at this point, we're just trying to generate Lethal Storm. Grapeshot for 10. Target our opponent. And then Grapeshot will resolve, and now we cast the other one. They do not have priority here, so we can just cast the other one. Even if they had a Surgical for some reason, they wouldn't be able to play it. And if they did, they likely would have cast the Surgical far earlier in the turn. So that will be game number 1. We got pretty lucky there. Okay, so post board. You might be thinking that Leyline of Sanctity is really good. However, a lot of the mill spells these days don't actually target Tasha's Hideous Laughter, and I should just look up the name of the other one here. Give me 1 second. Fractured Sanity. They each mill 14. And, well, I'm sorry. They each say each opponent. That's what I was trying to say. Fractured Sanity is the mill 14, by the way. Actually, just let me bring over the deck list so you can see it. So this is their last deck list. It doesn't mean that they're playing this exact build, but Archive Trap does target. Hideous Laughter does not. Fractured Sanity does not. One of the crabs targets, and then one doesn't. So Ruin Crab does not target. Hedron Crab does. So if you decide to board in Leyline of Sanctity, you're only hitting Archive Trap and Hedron Crab. Which, is that really good? I don't know. I'd say no. That said, I've beaten Mill in the past by blood mooning them unexpectedly, and then they're not able to play Magic. So I kind of like that. I also like Empty. I like Bolt for killing their crabs early. And what else can we do here? In general, I don't love Gifts Ungiven. So that's a card that I'm okay with boarding out here. Like, it can work, but I found that it's not very consistent. A lot of cards here. I think I want to leave and remand. And our opponent's deck list had Crypt Incursion and 4 Soul Guide Lantern and 4 Extirpate. Part of me wonders if I'm supposed to just board out a Past in Flames and like the Considers. Because I don't really want to put cards to my graveyard. We're at 62. Let's shave 1 of each creature. Actually, let's shave 2 Remand. I know that Remand is good for beating Graveyard Hate, but like Grapeshot is so likely to be surgical. So we're going to try this out. Double Grapeshot. I don't love this. We're going to mulligan. Punished. Going to 5. Keep. We'll get rid of those. I mean, this is a reasonable 5. I'm not going to complain. First turn, Shelldock Isle. Not a crab. I think how we win this game is that I draw Empty the Warrens or a turn 2 Blood Moon. So we have to hope that they don't have a basic here. Like, we want them to... I don't know. Like, what would they do on turn 2? Like, we would need them to tap out here and not have a basic. And I don't know what Mill would do on 2 mana to do that. There's a crab. Watery Grave. A Mill 3. Like, we saw that their list had main deck Spell Pierce. So I'm a little afraid about jamming Blood Moon, but this would be a spot where Blood Moon would win. I guess they could play another crab. Soul Guide Lantern. This is our window. They're going to exile the Remand. Sure. So this is how we win. We're going to jam the Blood Moon, hope that they don't have a basic, and then we have to answer the crab before we theoretically deck. Okay. This is actually a spot where if we were on the... Oh, no! Oh, wow. My brain melted. Ah, I just punted. I was trying to say something, and then I did the line that I was about to say. In the Gruul Storm deck, Archaeomancer, or Goblin Electromancer, I'm sorry. We could have gone Ritual Manamorphose Blood Moon if Electromancer worked like Goblin Electromancer, and I just might have thrown this game here. Oh no. Talking and playing Magic at the same time is so difficult. That's brutal. They grab another Watery Grave. We mill Past in Flames. Maybe there's still a chance. Maybe they tap out for the mill 14. They kill my Goblin. Okay. We need them to not have Spell Pierce. Another Manamorphose. Is this the Extirpate that we saw? It is, on Past in Flames. Alright, we do get to Blood Moon them. My mistake didn't cost us the match. I mean, obviously, my mistake was not ideal, but we're still in it. For now. And they're exiling the only Past in Flames we have. Okay, play the Blood Moon. Let's not punch twice in one game. At this point, we want to find Lightning Bolt to answer the Hedron Crab. We also want Empty the Warrens. They're going to activate the Soul Guide Lantern to draw a card. Which makes sense. They know that I don't have another Past in Flames deck. Empty? Empty? Lorien Revealed. I'm 1 mana short of hardcasting that. We'll pass. And our opponent's kind of locked out right now. Their land drops do mill me for 3. So they could mill Grapeshot, mill Empty, and then surgical them, and I lose. Okay, I'm going to burn the Desperate Ritual here to draw 3. Alright, let's draw 3 cards. Hardcasting Lorien Revealed. It resolves, we draw Grapeshot. Well, Grapeshot isn't enough to win right now, so we will pass. I mean, we also don't have mana, but like, we're so far away from this Grapeshot being lethal. Okay, once again, our opponent does nothing on their turn. We draw another land. Preordain. There's an Empty. I think we want both of these. I want to draw the Empty here, though. Pyretic Ritual. Manamorphose. Blue. Manamorphose. We'll do red this time. Why not? Red. And then we have 3 mana floating and then 2 lands, which means I have enough resources here to preordain. Well, I guess I could keep the Otawara. Okay, we'll keep Otawara. It still has its activated ability when in your hand. Blood Moon does not affect cards in your hand. We will make 12 goblins. And the opponent concedes! Yes! 2-0 over 2 very difficult matches. There's 3 matches left. We're running hot. Let's see if we can continue to do that. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Alright, time for the third round. We're on the play, and we will keep. While this hand might not seem amazing, it's actually pretty good. We have Lorien Revealed as a second land that is also a payoff for our Past in Flames. We have 2 different creatures. I mean, I don't know what our opponent's playing. This might end up not being great, but I think that this is a reasonable 7 to keep. We will play a turn 1 Spire Bluff Canal and pass the turn. Polluted Delta, okay. Not sure what that means. Let's cycle the Lorien Revealed. Grab a basic. Goblin Electromancer. We might as well start playing some of these out. We have a lot of creatures at the moment. If we can get one of them to stick, I would be happy. So it resolves, but our opponent's likely to have a removal spell, right? They grab a Steam Vents. Unholy Heat. Ouch. Another Electromancer. We could try to find land 3 with the Preordain, but I think I'm just going to play the Electromancer. We only have 13 other lands on our deck. I don't know the math on that to find one with Preordain here. Expressive Iteration. So they're likely on Izzet Murktide. We find a Misty Rainforest. And it looks like they're passing. Wow. I get to untap with a Goblin? Draw a Ritual. Ritual doesn't help us much at the moment. Get in there. Okay. I'm now going to Preordain. I'd like land 3. Looks like they might Spell Pierce. If they Spell Pierce, I think I'm going to Ritual in response. Okay. I'm going to burn the Ritual. I want my Preordain. Yes. Preordain happens. Manamorphose. Another Past in Flames. Alright, so we'll put that on the bottom. We'll keep the land. Ouch. Grab Steam Vents. Play another Goblin. Pass the turn. Ledger Shredder. Bobble, okay. So this is the second spell of the turn. They get to connive, so they can draw a card and then discard a card. And if it's not a land, their Shredder gets a little bit bigger. They get rid of an Expressive Iteration. They bobble us. So now they have a 2/4, which will hold back our Goblins. And now they have Counterspell mana open as well. Okay. So they're drawing up to 5 cards here. They're going to kill Goblin. That's fine. Payoff spell? Not quite. So I could Ritual here. If they have another Spell Pierce, it's kind of awkward. Let's cycle the Lorien Revealed. Play the island. Play Baral. We have to pass the turn. They have 4 cards. Expressive Iteration. Consider. So now they get to connive into Consider. Our opponent's currently holding open Counterspell mana. So if we were to draw a Remand or another Ritual, I think we would be in business. They mill a Ragavan. Or no, I'm sorry. They connive a Ragavan. They then mill a Ledger Shredder. Preordain. Okay. So Counterspell is not on the table here. Spell Pierce still is. The choke point for me currently is blue mana. Like, we could flashback Lorien Revealed next turn, but if they have a Spell Pierce, it cuts us off blue and it becomes very awkward. So if we were to draw Manamorphose or another Ritual, I think we would be okay. They get in for 3. Wow. Alright. They're thinking that they can race me? I'm the aggro deck here. Come on. Alright. Unholy Heat. And now we have a window to try to win. Most of these Izzet Murktide lists only have one main deck. Force of Negation. So this is a window. I've drawn another Lorien Revealed. I think I'm actually going to hardcast the Lorien Revealed this time. Hope to draw into some good cards. The Ledger Shredder does connive. Let's auto yield to that. Lorien Revealed. That was perfect. Okay. Who needs Gifts Ungiven? We have Lorien Revealed. Perfect. Okay. Sometimes this game is just beautiful. Let's consider. I would love a Desperate Ritual. Cast it. Cast in Flame. Ritual. Ritual. This is not a deterministic win, but we do get to flashback, I believe, all 3 Lorien Revealeds in our graveyard. We can flashback 2 of them. I don't have enough blue. I'm sorry, I lied. Apparently it misclicked and made red. That's awkward. I did not want to make red mana there. Doesn't matter. We drew the Grapeshot. That was very strange. Like, if you go back and watch it, I'm pretty sure I clicked blue twice and it made a red. Target them with a Grapeshot. I will take a game 1 win over Izzet Murktide any day. So now we're going to the post board. I need to look at recent deck lists, so let's do that together. It's been a while since I've played Modern. So, double engineered explosives. This is pretty good against our Empty the Warrens plan. So I don't love that. 1 Force of Negation. Unlicensed Hearse. They bring in a second Force of Negation, so they all have 2. Which isn't great for us. So they're more the same likelihood of them having the answer to goblins as having Force of Negation. Mystical Dispute, Fury, Subtlety, Spell Pierce, and Spell Snare. And this isn't our opponent's deck list. This is just like a generic deck list from Goldfish. So that gives you an idea of what they're playing. It will not be exact. I chose to not play any Flusterstorms or anything like that on my sideboard. I was hedging for, you know, the matchups that are really tough for us. And so far, we've used most of our sideboard. We haven't really used the Filter Out or the Echoing Truth, but every other card so far has been vital. Could bring in Bolt to help slow down Ragavan starts. Part of me thinks that maybe I just don't bring in Empty. Like, why play into Engineered Explosives at all? That's another thought that I'm having. We'll shave 2 Consider and 1 Gifts Ungiven. Let's try this. Yeah, this seems great. Keep. Although, Grapeshot not as great on the play because turn 1 Ragavan means that they'll have counterspells open. So Lightning Bolt is our best draw here. Instead we draw a land. Alright, turn 1 Spire Bluff, we'll pass. Ragavan connects, we'll go to 18. Goblin Electromancer, that's not very nice. They play a Consider. They put another Consider to the graveyard. Preordain, they're digging for land 2. If they miss here, I'm definitely killing the Ragavan. They missed. Wow. This is a huge opportunity for us. Play the Spire Bluff. Kill Ragavan. Pass the turn. Okay. I mean, we can't capitalize. It's not like we can win on our turn or anything, but it's going to slow down their development. They found land 2. They have a Channeler. They pass. I am going to just bolt this right now. We can pay for a Spell Pierce. I wish I had a remand right now, because if they tried to play a Murktide, I could remand it. And they are going to. Bummer. Yep, that's a dragon. Even after answering their first 2 creatures, they had the Murktide. And they drew running lands, which, you know, not the end of the world. They did miss their second, but I would have preferred if they didn't. I guess I can Otawara the Murktide. I didn't consider that until just now. Okay, yeah. It buys us a little bit of time. Expressive Iteration. I'm hoping our opponent taps out here, and then I could hardcast Lorien Revealed. Alright, so we will now Otawara the dragon. Grab a mountain. Bounce your dragon. Who's the control deck now? And they're going to pass, so I don't get to hardcast Lorien Revealed. We'll pass the turn. Channeler. Expressive Iteration. They surveil a land. They find a bauble. Okay, so they've already refueled their graveyard. They bauble. If they wanted to, they could play the dragon here again, but I don't think they're going to. They're going to pass with counterspell mana open. They draw off bauble. 5 lands is so many. Gifts Ungiven. Okay, play a goblin. Let's attempt a Manamorphose. They bolt in response. I kind of expected this to happen. Now we Morphose. Blue, blue. Let's attempt the Gifts. I mean, they probably have a Spell Pierce, but I don't think that this game was getting any better for us. The fact that their opponent just like found every land after missing their second was not ideal. And now we take 3 down to 13. Another Channeler. Aggressive Iteration. Got it. And another land drop. They have 4 cards in hand, one of which is the Murktide Regent that they're still not playing. Preordain. I mean, Grapeshot doesn't help us. I could keep the Ritual. Consider. Let's try taking the Baral. Maybe they only have 1 removal spell, or they burn a counter spell on it. Okay. Looks like they do have a Lightning Bolt. They get to Surveil twice. Yep. They kept 1 card off the Surveil. We go to 7 now. They still have 4 cards, one of which is Murktide Regent. We're in a tough spot here because I think it's safe to assume our opponent has at least 1 copy of counter target spell in their hand. If I were lucky enough to draw a Remand, they could just recast their counter spell. Play Baral. Attempt a Desperate Ritual. They'll Bolt. We will attempt a Manamorphose. They have a Spell Pierce. Alright, so I've seen enough. We can go to the next game. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we should just be jamming empty down their throat, saying good luck drawing the Explosion. Let's cut Remand. Remand feels really clunky. I could be wrong. At least in this matchup. Like, just having empty to punish counterspell draws, I think, is ideal. Now let's cut another Gifts, and I want to bring in the other concept. Alright, game 3, we're on the play. Yeah, this seems great. We'll keep. I like that we have Grapeshot to kill their 1-drop, assuming that they play 1. Preordain. No land 3, but these are both pretty good. I mean, we obviously have the Lorien revealed for land 3 as well. I'm aware. Old Rags. Yep. So now we draw the Lightning Bolt. Ouch. We will kill Ragavan. Get out of here. Pass the turn. Aggressive Iteration. I love it. Okay, so what is our best draw here? I don't actually... Maybe another Ritual? Like, would I empty for 6? Maybe? Well, now I have to strongly consider it. Lorien revealed not being land 3 here is a little bit of a detriment. 6, get there. I'm going to cycle the Lorien revealed. Let's just get this out of the way. I think I'm going to jam. Do you have Force of Negation? I mean, this reads like Force of Negation. We'll try another. This would be the one to have Force of Negation if you had it. And they do. That's a bummer. We have to pass. We just burned 2 rituals. Like, technically we traded 2 for 2, but that's a heartbreaker for sure. Another Expressive Iteration. They have 4 cards currently. Even if I were to draw another Ritual, I guess if I drew another Ritual and they were tapped out, I could empty for 6. Ragavan. So we have 6 draws here to empty for 6. Yep. They have 4 cards. Lorien revealed. I think I'm just going to go grab the land. Play Steam Vents. Bolt the Ragavan. They have 4 in hand now. Channeler. Yep. Ritual. So I could try to Goblin Ritual empty, but if they have a Spell Pierce that's shut down, I'm going to wait. Land number 5. I go to 15. Draw for turn. Preordain. Cast it. I think I want both of these. Pass the turn. Alright, so now they're drawing back up to 4 cards. Land number 6. We're at 12. And I'm about to go to 12, so tie ball game. Card cast Lorien revealed. Oh, Fury, wow. Okay, well, I'm glad I didn't empty up until this point. Yeah, that's a Fury. They have 2 cards left in their hand. Play the Goblin. Stern Scolding. Ah. Okay. What to do, what to do. I could consider, I'd have to hit an untapped land or hit a Ritual. Or I can settle for an empty for 8. The issue is that I don't know if empty for 8 is actually going to win. They have 1 card in hand. I mean, this match could decide on this decision right now. I have 5 Rituals, at least 3 basics, 4 Scalding Tarn, So that's 12 hits out of 43 that I can think of off the top of my head. Otawara, 13 hits. Empty for 8. I'd have to block the Fury. I just don't know. I'm also dead if they just play a Murktide Regent now. So if we empty for 8, okay, hypothetically, let's say they leave Fury back. I have to leave at least one creature back or else I'm dead on the crackback. And if let's say I hit off Consider, I think it's actually, okay, I've changed my mind. I'm just going to empty for 8. Because even if I hit off the Consider, I don't have enough to win in one swing. So why risk it? We'll empty for 8. Another Channeler. That's not great for me. And they're attacking. We'll chump block the Fury. They have one card in hand. So it looks like the one Storm would have mattered against the Channeler. Let's see if we can draw something good here. That wouldn't have done it last turn. So let's see. What we view off here would have been the extra card. So we would have hit the untap land. Well, bin that. Lorien revealed. That doesn't help us. Play the Electromancer. So that resolves. I don't know what the final card in their hand is. So if we attack for swing out for 6, they take 6, going to 6. Next turn they have to attack with these. They block. I mean, we would need our opponent to have nothing in order to win this. So that's just what we're going to do here. I really, really regret not preordaining now. We need them to draw like counterspell for turn. Oh, they just have the Unholy Heat? Damn. Okay. Close match. Yep. We'll let them attack for lethal. Why not? Alright. Well, I'm not going to let you just, like, showboat. Alright, you got it. We are 2-1. I mean, that could have been a win if I took the riskier line, but I figured that the preordain on my turn was safer. Because you could have preordained into Lightning Bolt, for example, and then been into the game, or we could have found Past in Flames plus a land. Things just didn't go our way, unfortunately. That's just how it happened. So we're going to focus on winning the next 2 and finish this with a 4-1. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Alright, 4th match, we're on the draw. This hand is not a keep, no mana. Alright, so here we can bottom Grapeshot, and then we have 1 land, 2 lands with the Lorien revealed. I think that this is acceptable. Grapeshot on the bottom. Let's find out what our opponent's playing. They've just taken a mulligan to 5. Mulligans to 5 in this format. I mean, I'm going to guess Tron. Let's see if I'm right. Nope. Okay. You draw an Electromancer. Okay. Not a bad one. So it looks like they might be on Creativity. Fetch. They have 1 mana instant speed Leyline Binding at their disposal. Kind of scary for us. Go grab an island. And another Consider. We'll pass. They have a 3rd land, but then they're passing. On their end step, we will Consider. We're going to mill the Baral. Land 3 is a good one. I'd like to find a payoff here or like a remand. We don't need that. Another Consider, okay. There's remand. Perfect. Pass. Remand also pretty good against Creativity. Let's fetch. Okay. And then Consider. Don't need another land. Okay, we're looking for payoffs. Another remand. I'll play the Electromancer here. I mean, let's try to eat out one of the removal spells. And you might be saying, why not play out the Baral? I want the Baral to live. That's why. Because assuming that they play a removal spell here, I'm not going to fight over the Goblin. I'm going to let it die. They reprieve me, sure. They have played their 5th land. Are you going to go for it here? They fetch with Scalding Tarn. That's 1 Dwarven Mine. Now they can grab another. And then Creativity for 2. Oh, they're only going to do it for 1. Okay, well, we'll remand this. Find Preordain. Gifts Ungiven. So I could play Baral Ritual, and then they still have Binding up. So I don't really want to play into Binding. These are both fine. Well, I guess Manamorphose is fine, less so the Gifts. We'll pass. The Dwarf token will attack for 1, we go to 15. And they're going to try it again. Well, they will meet another rematch. Draw another Preordain. Lorien revealed. Might as well go get a land out of our deck. Why not? Play it. Baral. Let's attempt a ritual. They Dwarven Mine. Okay, so they have a lightning bolt. We can respond to the lightning bolt. And then we will cast Desperate Ritual. Manamorphose. Blue. Into Past in Flame. How wonderful. Pyretic Ritual resolves. We'll play a Goblin. Now we'll Past in Flames. Ritual. Manamorphose. Make blue. This is me clicking blue twice. There we go. And Gifts Ungiven target you. Manamorphose. Ritual. Grapeshot. And our opponent concedes. So we've taken game 1 over creativity. I love it. Alright, we definitely want Blood Moon here. But I think I kind of like Filter Out versus everything they have going on. Maybe I'm wrong. But like, it's good against Leyline Binding, but maybe that's not important enough. Looking at some recent lists, I feel like they're kind of weak against Empty, so I'm kind of interested in Empty as well. We'll cut 2 copies of Gifts, get rid of the Filter Out. I don't think I want the Echoing Truth. I could be wrong there. Board out 1 Past in Flames. I'll leave 1 Echoing Truth, I suppose. We can board out 1 Grapeshot, 2 Consider, and a Goblin. Let's try this. Yeah, this hand seems decent. We'll keep it. Turn 1, they play a Scalding Tarn. I'm familiar with that play. Stomping Ground. They're getting rich. Yep. Ouch. Preordain. Don't want more lands. Another remand is good. So this could be turn 2 Fable the Mirror Breaker. Sacred Foundry. Ren and 6. I'm fine with turn 2 Ren. You've got it. Another Lorien revealed. We'll pass the turn. I'm beginning to think that maybe they're Jund creativity. Or, well, I guess they're not Jund, but we actually saw the Grixis Triumph in game 1. I'm not used to seeing Strike It Rich. Let me check out a recent deck list. Yeah, no Strike It Rich in any recent Goldfish deck list that I'm seeing. Fable. Let's remand Fable here. They Veil of Summer. Okay. Sure. So unlike Reprieve... Oh, I still get to draw the card apparently. Okay. I thought that if it was... Okay, so it still resolves, but then I draw a card. That's odd. Sure. I'll take it. Another Preordain. Let's cycle for a land. Pass the turn. They discard 2 lands, which makes sense. I mean, they've been using Ren and 6. They attack, they'll get a treasure. Land for turn. And they have a treasure token up, so if they have another Veil of Summer, they could fight us on that axis. Creativity for 1. I'm going to attempt to Echoing Truth the Dwarf. Do you have a second Veil of Summer? You do. Okay, sure. Yep. Archon. I think here we can just get rid of a Consider. So this would be a window to win, but I'm not even close to being able to win here. Preordain. Empty's obviously terrible in this spot. Get rid of the Canal. Preordain. Bottom the Blood Moon, keep the Baral. Cycle Lorien revealed. And I think I'm supposed to board out the Blood Moon. Like, they're not the deck I thought they were. So we're going to change that for game 3. Because I'm not winning this. So they have 8 coming in. I discard a card and lose some life. I'm going to go to 2. They could deal 1 off the Ren emblem. I'm dead to a Lightning Bolt. I'm dead to a second Ren. They minus, so they must have another one. Yep, okay. Game 3. Let's change up our plan here. I think I boarded it incorrectly. Let's get rid of the Blood Moon. I guess if they have Veil of Summer, do I actually like Gifts Ungiven? Probably not. Alright, I'm going to just board out the Blood Moons and that's it. Try it again. On the play for game 3. Ay. Try it. This feels pretty risky to me. Play a Spire Bluff Canal, pass the turn. Turn 1 Garden, we will consider. Bin the Manamorphose. Baral was an excellent draw step. Or draw off the Consider, I should say. Play the Canal. Let's hope that our Baral live. Like a turn 2 red might give us the opportunity to try to win this. They have a bolt. Okay. Gonna be too surprised. Another Baral. Try it out. They have 4 cards. What are the odds they have double removal spell? 100%? 200%? They fetch with the Bloodstained Mind. They grab a Xander's Lounge, so now they have all 5 colors. Land number 3. Come on, tap out for a Fable. What could happen? Strike it rich. We'll draw for turn. Another Baral. I am not going to go for it here. I'm just going to cast a Lorien Revealed. I feel like trying to Gifts is kind of a mistake. I mean, I could... We know that they have Reprieve in their deck. So, like, I could Ritual Lorien, but... I don't know. It just doesn't seem worth it. Spell Pierce. Okay. Back for 1. They have 2 cards left. They have Spell Pierce, Veil of Summer, Reprieve. Grab another Triumph. There's the Wrenn. Wrenn in 6. They play a land, still 2 cards. Draw another land. Let's attack. We don't have to burn the Desperate Ritual in order to cast the Gifts Ungiven. I mean, if they have a Veil of Summer, it's unfortunate, but I'm going to try this out. It resolves. Interesting. Manamorphose. Past in Flames. Ritual. What if I got Remand here? They would give me Morphose Remand? I could still go for it? I guess the downside is if they give me Morphose Remand, I Ritual, I Morphose, Flashback Piff for... No, I think that does it. Let me count one more time. So, Desperate Ritual, Manamorphose brings me up to 4 mana floating, Flashback. No, that doesn't work. Alright. If they have a Reprieve, and then they reprieve the Flashback on my Past in Flames, it just gets exiled. Oh, this feels like they have a Reprieve here. Flashback, Past in Flames. I'm not going to play the Ritual, because if they have Reprieve, I don't want to waste a resource. This is why I always say that, like, it comes up in videos, because Giftstorm players love the idea of the deck that they used to play in 2017, 2018. And I'll say, Remand is really bad. They're like, well, you just remand your own spell if they force a negation. That doesn't work with Past in Flames, and anyone who's pretty good... Ooh, Fluster. I was not expecting a Fluster here. That's brutal. That's actually just devastating. So I can pay for it, but then it does nothing. Ah, jeez. But, like, you can't remand a Past in Flames Flashback. Or if they reprieve it, I get blown out there too. They have so much hate in their deck. And that's my only Past in Flames. This was also on a mulligan to 5. They opened up Fluster, Spell Pierce, Lightning Bolt. Okay, I think I am going to have to start attacking the Wrenn in 6. They play an Arid Mesa post-combat. Fable. So now I can't attack the Wrenn in 6. We need to draw Lorien Revealed. That's our best draw step here. Another Goblin. Okay. Pass the turn. We're dead if they find Creativity. They discard 1 card. That's not good for us. If they're only discarding 1 card, I'll block with my Baral. They kill the Baral with the Wrenn, which is fine because we have a backup. Another Fable. Please, deck. Please. Manamorphose. Cast it. Red, blue. Echoing Truth. Not a great draw here. We'll pass. Okay. So they'll create some treasure. Block the dwarf. We'll take 4 down to 13. Another Dwarven Mine. They pick up Arid Mesa with the Wrenn in 6. They play the Arid Mesa. They're fetching again. Still 2 cards in their hand. And it looks like they're going to hardcast an Archon of Cruelty here. And they do. Get rid of a Goblin Electromancer and the Echoing Truth. I mean, I think it would take a miracle for me to win from here, but let's see what our draw step is. That's not going to do it. So we have fallen to Creativity. Now we're 2-2, unfortunately. Sometimes you just lose. Our opponent had everything this game. I mean, the early removal spells, Spell Pierce, Fluster, into an early Wrenn in 6 with Fable that kind of just cruised them throughout the game. They made a mulligan to 5 look easy. So we're going to try to finish this last match with a win and be 3-2. Let's see if we can make that happen. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. The final match of this Gift Storm League. We're on the draw. We've opened up no lands, have to mulligan. This seems reasonable. We'll keep and get rid of the Consider. Alright, so the Misty means that we have not faced Tron this league. We played this deck to crush Tron, and then unfortunately never got paired against it. They grab a Steam Vent, so there's a good chance that this is Izzet Murktide for the second time this league, and no, it's Living End! Okay, traditionally a very difficult matchup for us. They have a turn 2 Grief as well. I'll be honest, I don't see myself winning this. Like, this is a nightmare matchup. Like, I know I said that the first 2 rounds, but I think Living End is even more difficult than the first 2. They take the Pyretic Ritual. Okay. They cycle a Striped Riverwinder and play Breeding Pool. Yep. Fetch with the Scalding Tarn. Grab Steam Vents. Draw step is Manamorphose. I mean, it's tough because if they have turn 3 Living End, you lose your creature. But I don't think we're winning this game by holding it back either and then letting them grief us again. So I'm going to say, hey, I don't think you have the turn 3 Living End, and I'm going to just try to live my best life. They don't have the turn 3 Living End. Good for us. And they missed their 3rd land drop. They have 5 cards in hand. And we've drawn the potential to win this game. I mean, we would need our opponent to not have Force of Negation, which a little bit unlikely. Manamorphose will make blue. Another Lorien revealed. That's kind of awkward. Gifts Ungiven, target them. They have Force of Negation, removing Subtlety, and now we have to just pass the turn. I mean, if I had drawn a land there, land wouldn't have been any better than Lorien Revealed. So I'm not blaming Lorien Revealed, but I would have liked to have drawn something a little bit better, so that way I could cast the Lorien Revealed and still be in this game. Alright, so they likely have Living End next turn. This is our window. And it's not looking very good for us. Like, drawing past In Flames is probably one of the best things we could do here. They have 3 in hand. I'd also take a Remand. That's not going to do it. I guess we just hardcast the Lorien Revealed. Those 3 are not, excuse me, not very good. We'll attack for 2. They go to 11. Remand is good in this matchup. It's just, it's a very tough matchup. And they have the Architects too, so that means that I will not be able to top deck into a win because they will control the top of my library. There's the agent. Okay. Your murder's dead here. I'll pick it up. No need to further play this out. Okay. Game 2. Blood Moon used to be very good against this deck, and I don't feel like it is anymore. I think you're actually just better off resubmitting and saying, hey, I will draw into what I need to, rather than trying to, like, cheese out a win with the Blood Moon. I think looking back on this league, we would have done a lot better if we had some Flusterstorms in our sideboard. The thing is, I am convinced I want Leyline of Sanctity. We only used it against Burn today, but it's very good against Rakdos Scam as well. The Lightning Bolts were good, Blood Moon was good, Empty was fine. Part of me wonders, like, how do you fit Flusterstorm in? Well, maybe you move 1 Empty to the main deck over, like, the Grapeshot. Although I love Grapeshot against the field right now, so it's tough. But, like, that gives you 1 slot. Maybe you cut Filter out, and then maybe you could go down to, like, 2 Blood Moon. That could give you 3 copies of Flusterstorm. It's something for you to consider, because these last 3 matchups were all matches where I would have loved to have some Flusterstorms in the sideboard, and we didn't have them. Game number 2, we're on the play. Sure. I don't know. Likely not winning this anyway. Spirebluff Canal, Preordain. I think I don't want the gifts right now, but I do want the Past in Flames. Turn 1, they play a Misty Rainforest. Draw Grapeshot, which is not ideal. This isn't a card that's very good in the matchup. It's just, I didn't think that we had anything else to really board in. They did not cycle on their end step. So there was either a misplay or they just have like Waker of Waves. Cycle the Lorien revealed. Grab Steam Vents. Consider. Get rid of the island. Okay. We will play out the Baral. Mystical Dispute. Okay. I guess the one upside here is if they Living End, I will gain a Baral back. They fetch with the Misty and they grab a basic force, so they're heavily playing around Blood Moon. Okay. Dispense Crashing Footfalls. What? Okay, that's something else. Yeah, you can do that. Otawara. Alright, let's get counterspelled because that's what I'm into. Desperate Ritual. I'm going to attempt to draw 3 here. Another Mystical Dispute? Bummer. Okay. Pass the turn. They have their own Otawara. Guardless Agent. I'm willing to bet there's no Living Ends left in their deck at this point. They still have 3 cards in hand. Another Ritual. Let's cycle Manamorphose. Red, blue. Another Ritual. I mean, I could try to go Ritual, Past in Flames. I'm going to go for it. This feels like a window. I could be wrong, but we're going to have to get pretty lucky off a Manamorphose draw and then either Preordain or Consider. Past in Flames. They had Force and Negation. Alright. Whoops. Turn off auto yields. Turn off auto yields. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then same target. This should kill the Rhino and the Agent, leaving them with a 4/4. They cycle Generous End. They have 1 card in hand. We are so far behind at this point, but it's theoretically possible that we draw a creature into Past in Flames and nothing bad happens, but probably not. Or we could have land 5. Pass. They attack for 4. We go to 10. Violent Outburst. Another Footfalls. Okay, so it is impossible for me to win the game. I could draw Past in Flames here, but we only have 1 mana, and that just doesn't do it. So we have finished this league 2-3 after starting out 2-0. I think that ultimately what kind of happened here is that our sideboard wasn't constructed for the half of the format that we got paired against. So I'm going to duplicate this, and let's work on a new list, because I think for the most part it was pretty good. I just think that maybe we wanted to make some adjustments. So I think I would cut the filter out, maybe 1 Blood Moon. We'll add 3 copies of Flusterstorm to the sideboard. And let's move an empty into the main deck over Grapeshot 3. This is something you could do. I guess I could slide this so you can see the full thing. But maybe this is what I would play next. We just really desperately wanted Flusterstorm in our post-board games and didn't have it, which was unfortunate. But I felt like the list was really close. It's just maybe a card here or there could have, produced a better result. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I hope you enjoyed the Gift Storm content today. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. Have a great day and keep storming. Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. If you're looking for more sweet combo content, we have tons of it over at theepicstorm.com, where you can find matchup guides, play-by-play, and storm puzzles featuring a monthly combo expert. You're going to love what we have over there.